Did you know that video games went from a simple blip on a screen to a multi-billion-dollar global industry? In the next 11 minutes, we're going to take you through the wild, explosive, and sometimes crazy history of video games, from Pong to Fortnite and beyond. Grab your controller, because this is a ride you don't want to miss. The beginnings. Our story starts in the early 1950s, long before the days of PlayStation or Xbox. The very first video game ever made was created in 1958 by William Higginbotham, a physicist at the Brookhaven National Laboratory. It was called Tennis for Two, and it was an extremely simple tennis simulation on an oscilloscope screen. But the true beginning of the video game industry, as we know it, came in the early 1970s, thanks to a man named Nolan Bushnell. In 1972, Bushnell and his company Atari released Pong, one of the first commercially successful arcade games. Pong wasn't just a game, it was the spark that started a revolution. Though simple by today's standards, Pong became an instant sensation. It's hard to believe now, but back in the 70s, this simple ping-pong game was everywhere, in arcades, bars, even restaurants. The golden age of arcades. As the 70s turned into the 80s, the video game industry exploded. Iconic titles like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Donkey Kong hit the arcades, turning video gaming into a pop culture phenomenon. Space Invaders introduced the concept of high scores and became a massive hit worldwide. Then, Pac-Man arrived in 1980, and it quickly became a household name. With its cute, yellow protagonist and maze chase gameplay, Pac-Man took over arcades and even had a cultural impact, spawning TV shows, cartoons, and merchandise. And who could forget Donkey Kong in 1981? It introduced the world to a little carpenter named Mario, who would go on to become the most iconic video game character ever. These arcade games were more than just games, they were cultural milestones. The home console era. By the mid-80s, video games had moved into the living room. Enter the world of home consoles. In 1977, Atari released the Atari 2600, the first major home console. Suddenly, gamers didn't have to go to arcades to play their favorite games. They could play right at home. However, the early home gaming market was tricky. The 1983 video game crash, a market oversaturation of poor-quality games, nearly brought the entire industry to its knees. But one company was ready to save the day: Nintendo. In 1985, Nintendo released the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, and it completely revitalized the gaming industry. With iconic games like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid, Nintendo captured the hearts of millions and set the stage for the modern video game era. Sega didn't sit back either. In 1989, they launched the Sega Genesis, introducing Sonic the Hedgehog as their mascot. This rivalry between Nintendo and Sega led to the Console Wars, a battle for dominance that would last for decades. The 3D revolution and the rise of Sony. As the 90s rolled around, the video game landscape changed again, thanks to the rise of 3D graphics. In 1994, Sony entered the console market with the PlayStation, and suddenly, video games weren't just about colorful 2D sprites. They were about immersive worlds. In 1996, Super Mario 64 revolutionized 3D gaming, showing players that games could be vast, open, and full of new ways to explore. Meanwhile, the PlayStation's lineup of games like Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid proved that video games could tell deep, cinematic stories. The rivalry between the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 gave gamers some of the best games of the 90s, and the console wars were more intense than ever. The modern era and online gaming. The 2000s brought even more advancements, including the rise of online multiplayer games. The Xbox and PlayStation 2 became household staples, with Halo and Grand Theft Auto changing the way we thought about games. But the biggest shift. Online gaming. Massive multiplayer online games like World of Warcraft and Fortnite let players connect with others around the world, and gaming became a global social activity. Fortnite, in particular, didn't just change how we play, it became a cultural event. And let's not forget about streaming. Platforms like Twitch brought gamers together like never before, turning video games into a spectator sport. The future of video games. So, what's next for the world of video games? Well, we're just getting started. Virtual reality, VR, has taken gaming to new heights, offering players a truly immersive experience. Games like Beat Saber and Half-Life, Alyx have shown us that the future of gaming could be fully realized with VR. Cloud gaming is also pushing the boundaries, allowing us to play high-quality games on phones, tablets, and even low-end PCs. With the rise of services like Google Stadia and Xbox Cloud Gaming, it's clear that the future of gaming might not even require a console at all. And with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, we've entered a new era of gaming that's faster, better, and more immersive than ever before. With advanced ray tracing, ultra-fast SSDs, and 4K graphics, these consoles are pushing the limits of what games can look like and how they play. 10 fun facts about video games. 1. The first video game ever made was. Did you know? The first video game ever created was Tennis for Two in 1958, made by physicist William Higginbotham. It was displayed on an oscilloscope, not a TV screen. The game was just a simple tennis simulation with two players hitting a ball back and forth. 2. Super Mario was almost a carpenter, not a plumber. Fun fact, Mario, the beloved plumber, was originally supposed to be a carpenter. Shigeru Miyamoto, Mario's creator, designed him with a variety of professions in mind, and the choice of a plumber came only because it suited the pipes in the game's design. We might have had Carpenter Mario instead. 3. The longest video game marathon played is. Hold on to your controller. The longest video game marathon played is over 35 hours. A guy named Okan Kaya set the Guinness World Record by playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3 for an insane 35 hours and 40 minutes. Talk about endurance. 4. Pong was the first ever arcade game, and it almost flopped. Fun fact, although Pong is now a classic, it wasn't a guaranteed hit. In fact, the first arcade machine was reported to have failed because it was too simple. The owner even had to fix it because the machine broke down from being used too much. 5. The most expensive video game ever made. Want to know what game costs the most to develop? It's Grand Theft Auto 5, with an estimated production cost of around $270 million. That's more than some Hollywood blockbusters. But with its massive success, it was more than worth the investment. 6. The world's largest video game collection. Get ready for this. The world's largest video game collection, according to the Guinness World Records, belongs to a man named Antonio Montero, who has more than 20,000 video games in his collection. From retro cartridges to modern discs, this guy's got it all. 7. Tetris was banned in some countries. Did you know? Tetris, one of the most iconic games of all time, was banned in countries like the Soviet Union and China for being too addictive. The Soviet government even feared that it might negatively affect work productivity. 8. The first ever video game character came from. Here's a cool one, the first ever character to be recognized in a video game was a simple dot. That's right, in the 1958 game Tennis for Two, the dot that represented the ball was technically the first ever video game character. Long before Mario or Pac-Man. 9. Pokemon is more popular than the entire population of Earth. Incredible but true, the Pokemon franchise has over 450 million games sold worldwide, and that's more than the entire population of the Earth. It's one of the most successful media franchises of all time, even surpassing Star Wars. 10. The Legend of Zelda was inspired by a real-life adventure. Here's a fun nugget about one of gaming's most famous series. The creator of The Legend of Zelda, Shigeru Miyamoto, said the inspiration for the game came from his childhood experiences exploring caves and forests near his home. He wanted to capture the sense of adventure and discovery that he felt as a young boy. And that, my friends, is a quick look at the history of video games. From humble beginnings in the 50s to the virtual worlds we explore today, video games have come a long way, and there's still so much more to come. The gaming industry continues to evolve, and who knows what the future holds. We could see AI-driven games, completely new forms of gameplay, and even more ways to connect with players around the world. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the history of video games. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Let me know in the comments what your favorite game of all time is and why. Until next time, keep gaming.